Hari Om. Hari Om. Hello, my friends. Let's talk about love. Love is such a word that is used so much. What is love? Usually it's associated with holding, grasping, owning, wanting something. But is that love? People mistake their attraction as love. They may be attracted to somebody, to something, they want it, and they think it's love. It's more desire. It's more that somehow I feel incomplete. There is something attracting, somebody attractive, and then I think if I have that, I'm feeling more complete. Love is that force that keeps everything together. Love flows when that awareness of connection is there. There is consciousness, there is energy, and there is love. Without consciousness, there is no experience. Without energy, there is no content to any experience. And without love, nothing is holding together. Everything is essentially one. The more that awareness dawns, the more there is real love. How can we hate when we are aware of that oneness? As long as we are separating, as long as we are creating that wall, me and the others, I'm a person, a little person, separate in the vast big universe, then there is the moment, the possibility for the emotions, love and hate. But the true love is not an emotion. It's that awareness that everything is connected. Nothing is apart. Everything is an expression of that same divinity, that same essence that is not changing and yet that is expressing itself in manifestations in this universe, in other universes, expressing itself in so many ways, remaining essentially the same and yet getting richer for the experience of itself. That divinity, that is what you are, that is what everybody is. Becoming aware of that, that love, that awareness of being connected flows by itself. Superficially, in manifestation, there, there are naturally, there are attractions and there are rather repulsions. That's nothing wrong. We simply don't have to identify with it. We simply don't have to be a slave of that and think that we can only be happy if we are with people whom we love, if we are in circumstances that we like, and that we are unhappy if we are with people that we don't like. We don't need anything. We are all complete, complete in oneself, complete being that divine essence. We just have forgotten. And when we forget it, then that word love becomes something else. It's an emotion. It's driving people nuts. I want this person. I want. Then two people come together in love. It's so wonderful, wonderful. The big heaven, because then that love flows. It feels good when the love flows. Then along with the emotion, one opens the heart and touches real love also. But as long as the focus is on the kick, on the experience, on the emotion, then invariably there comes the disappointment, because emotions don't stay, they change. It's their nature. And what first may have seemed to be so super wonderful heaven, but then slowly it fades away. There comes a disappointment, and why is it not more producing that same happiness, that same sense of fulfillment? Because that sense of fulfillment was connected with we connecting it with the emotion, hoping that the emotion may stay, but emotions are changing, changing all the time. But it's possible that people who come together, even if it is very wild, romantic, emotional, that the heart is opening, and more, without thinking about it, that the awareness dawns of a connection so deep then that even when the emotions fade away, the love remains. Not necessarily the ecstatic, jumping, crazy love of the beginning, but just a sense of well-being, thinking of somebody, because then it simply flows. As soon as we then attach expectations, as soon as we attach conditions, then it starts to get stained and goes more in the background. But if that awareness is there, and sometimes it comes easier, when that attraction is there, it comes easier than when there is repulsion. When that attraction is there, and that awareness dawns that basically we are always connected. You're not essentially different. Then that access to real love is there. Real love, that awareness of being one, of being connected, of never having been separate. Sometimes people are in a relationship and suddenly feel a lot of attraction to somebody. It simply becomes a problem then when that feeling is attached to I need to do actions, I need to do something about it, and then there comes whole that conflict, being faithful, being not faithful, creating difficulties in the life. But if one learns to accept joyously this kind of feelings that come along and makes use of them to open the heart and feel that sense of being connected, then the love simply flows without creating a problem for anybody. It makes the life richer. If that awareness of love is there is joyousness, there is happiness, there is that inner beauty that can express itself. Those people who close their heart to that, the feeling always empty. There is something missing, terribly missing. And then they try all kinds of wild stuff in order to fill that emptiness up, and it doesn't work. And the more they are closing their heart to love, the more that feeling of something is not right is there, and then they try to fill it up by controlling other people, by doing all kinds of stuff, and then they become what we call evil. They are not essentially evil, they simply have closed their heart towards love. And if that is closed, then that joyousness of existence is absent. And they can try as much as they want to get kicks in order to replace that richness, that one that is there naturally with all kinds of stuff that may momentarily produce an energetic high, but it will never fulfill. It will never fill that emptiness that is there if one closes the heart towards love. Love is nothing romantic, it's nothing sentimental. It's that awareness of being all one, of being connected. And if that awareness is not there, if that love is not there, then life becomes dark, empty. And people try to fill it up and do worse and worse and worse things, hoping to get finally the kick that is making them fulfill that, but it cannot possibly work because that what they are looking for is already in them, and they close their conscious experience to that. We just have to open our heart to what is already there, becoming more and more aware, consciously and unconsciously, becoming more and more aware that all is connected, that we are not separate. The more that awareness is growing, the more the heart is simply opening up and love is flowing. And as when that love is flowing, there is that happiness. We don't have to do something about it. We don't have to run after adventures. We don't have to do wild stuff in order to be happy. We can just become aware if we don't prevent it, that love for living beings, for all of existence is there. And that is self-fulfilling. So if anybody sometimes starts to feel attraction and then their conflict comes, oh, I shouldn't feel attraction to a person because I'm in a relationship, I'm in a marriage. Don't fight that attraction. Simply don't hang on that ID, me, I'm unfulfilled and I need to do something about that in order to be fulfilled and in order to be happy. Just become aware. This is wonderful. That attraction can help me to open my heart and feel that connection. And that is self-fulfilling. We need not do something about it and we need not create problems on this relative level. You can feel that attraction to more and more people, to more and more eventually and becomes aware when it's connected with everything. On the relative level, life will still go on. There are there are natural attractions, there are natural repulsions. We need not fight them, but we need not do something about it. Certain characters they just don't go together, so never mind. They better go each on their own way. If they have to do with each other, they can still behave in such a way that it doesn't become destructive, that it doesn't hurt. We are all the same divine essence. Everybody, everything is an expression of that. That doesn't mean we have to let people do what we call evil and think, oh, it's good because everybody is an expression of that. No, no, we don't have to let them do on the relative level. They have lost their connection, their conscious connection with love, with that awareness that all is connected. And we don't have to go along with such people and the actions they are doing if they are destructive, if they hurt themselves and people around them. All is one. That oneness is the multiplicity. In the multiplicity, there are differences. There are certain things that are harmonious together, certain things that are not harmonious together. The connection is still there. It's still an expression of that same divinity. But that doesn't mean that we have to force ourselves to be, if it's not necessary, in company that we don't feel attracted to. We can let them go, let them do what they have to do and go our own way. Not out of hatred, not because we are judging them, but simply because there is no interest in whatever activities they are busy with. Just open the heart to that awareness, the love that we are looking for, that we hope to get from somewhere. We don't have to get from somewhere. It's here, it's now, it's our own true nature. It's an aspect of the base of manifestation. Without that love, that awareness of connection to some degree, a manifestation could not exist. It would fall into pieces immediately. It is the glue that holds it together. A Mahatma may be aware of that essence, and in that sense, love everybody the same. On the relative level, still, they will favor people who are interested in what they are representing, who are interested in the activities of that Mahatma, and who get help by coming close and connecting. And there are people who are not interested at all, but rather seek to destroy that. And then even a Mahatma will act differently to certain people then they're acting to other people, even if that basic love, that basic awareness of all oneness of that one divine essence is there. On the relative level, that play is there of duality of opposites that also somehow influence the manifestation. Nothing wrong with that. We don't have to identify with, we don't have to become destructive, and then it's not a problem. Just open the heart and be aware all is the manifestation and expression of that same divinity. And then we can deal with the problems playfully, harmoniously, detached, unconcerned, not full of expectations all the time. I should get something out of the situation. I should become happy because of a situation. I should become fulfilled because of something or somebody. That happiness, that fulfillment is already here. It is your true nature. And we have just to become aware of it. Consciously, we can open our heart. Consciously, we can turn the attention in that direction instead of becoming aware that the attention is always going out looking for something that makes me fulfilled, looking for something that makes me happy, looking for something. And yet, what we are looking for, what people are running after, has never left them. It just should stop and become aware. It has never been absent. It's always here. All we have to do is to come home to that sense of presence, to that awareness of being alive, learn to relax, and then it starts to simply bubble up to the surface and is being experienced. Love is not simply affection. It's much more than that. Affection between people may help them to open the heart, to touch that real love, to touch that real awareness of not being separate, of being connected, of being essentially the one, the one same divinity. But then when affection is being identified with me, I am a person, I feel affection for another person or for a thing. And I need that person. I need that thing in order to be fulfilled. There we are creating troubles for ourselves and often for others. You are completing yourself. You are the source of your happiness. You are you are essentially that love. It need not be created, it need not be produced, it need not be found somewhere with somebody. It is here, it's now, it's a part, an aspect of your true nature. Repeating this kind of thoughts to oneself helps us to keep the attention open in the right direction, and gradually the heart opening will happen by itself. And then it's more than just a working theory, then it becomes a direct experience of what is. Then when one can easily distinguish when that awareness of connection bubbles up, then there is so much joy in it. And if one closes the heart to that. If one is accusing others for being responsible for our sense of unfulfillment, for our unhappiness, there we are closing our heart, creating a apparent distance, and there is always pain in it. There's always misery in it. Something is totally missing, and then one laments away because of this and because of that. I'm unhappy, but actually we are unhappy because we close our heart. We close that possibility to consciously connect with that essence. Then we have to work on it to undo those locks again. we have been, we have put so many locks in place, and we after that have to are busy undoing those locks again, becoming aware. Oh my God. In all my struggling, in all my striving, everything I have been trying to do has been in vain, even if momentarily it may have brought some satisfaction, even if momentarily may have brought us some happiness, then if you are really observative and look what's going on, not just in those moments of joy, but the whole time we become aware, I'm doing that to myself. I'm preventing myself to be aware of that love of existence, and I need not do that anymore. That love is full of joyous ecstasy. It may sometimes manifest as an ecstasy, an ecstatic experience, but still that experience comes and goes, but that joyousness, that this experience there comes out of our own self. It's here, it's now. We need not create barriers. And everything becomes so much easier. Mm. Rio, Rio. Mm. All right, my friends. Now I've been talking, and I'm asking you, is there anyone who would like to come in and say something? You are welcome to do so. Hello, Andreas.
Hello. So why are we so stupid and preventing ourselves from the source of happiness?
Why are we like this? Well, something has happened in this world that when we come to this world, we forget what we are, we forget where we came from, and then we are brought up like this. We are brought up in a world where everybody is in that forgetfulness and somehow struggles along, trying to find their happiness, and influences when we grow up and put all those ideas and all those fixations and all those conditionings in our mind that you need to be like this, you need to be like that in order to become a good citizen, in order to become happy, in order to become fulfilled. And we swallow it up and don't question it, and then it becomes like a hard reality. And then we have to struggle to undo all that damage again to become aware uh, what we have been taught was wrong. We have been taught by people who are also influenced like that, who have themselves been taught by their elder generations and so on and so on. And it goes on. Something is a bit gone amiss in this world. And somehow that is the challenge to come here, get into that forgetfulness, growing up and putting all those conditionings in our mind, and then somehow eventually start to wake up and think, oh, it could be different. And then we have to undo all that stuff again that has been done.
But so why don't I see it?
Why don't I see it? The
Yeah.
habit is strong, the habit of perceiving, even if we believe it. It's not so easy to let go of something one has experienced. So without questioning as the reality. And then it sounds very nice and it sounds like a nice philosophy, something else. But then in the background, in the mind is always, but I know reality is different. I know this sounds very good and nice, and maybe somebody, some great beings achieve to some kind of a state like this. But for me, I know what is reality. Somehow in the background we have those blocks. They are not easy to remove.
Any hints how to do it?
That's what I'm talking about the whole time.
I feared that you would answer that.
Learning to be conscious, learning to be awake instead going through life half asleep, learning to connect with life when it is. And we can connect with life, with existence, with reality only at one point, that is now. All else is in the mind, and we have the habit to be with our attention so totally always in the mind, in the past, in the future, in castles that we go, or afraid of what's now happening the other side of the world, but never simply being consciously alive now. We just have to somehow bring the attention back to that and learn to relax, and that will start to dissolve all those conditionings that prevent us usually from being aware of that living truth that is never absent. We cannot possibly be ever disconnected really with that. But we can imagine it so strong that it feels so true.
Do the people look like fools from that perspective?
Would people look?
Do people look like fools, like
Ah,
stupid from that perspective? When you see the world from that perspective?
no, they don't look like fools. They look like uh, being victim of a general hypnosis, which is totally understandable. So it doesn't look like people are fools. Nevertheless, if they want to get out of that hypnosis, they have to learn to accept. I have been fooled my whole life long. I have been holding on to foolish ideas that need not be just, that has been put in my head, and I didn't question them and pick them up and made them stronger. But I can't stop that. However much we are in that hypnosis, we can come out of it. But there must be that yearning for truth, for reality, that yearning to get out of a existence that feels always it's not satisfactory, it's not fulfilling.
Isn't one of the main blocks the identification with the body and the person?
That's, of course, that's the main thing. The body, but more with the idea of the me person. You can be even not so attached to all the bodily details, but be very attached to that me person ID. And that attachment one doesn't want to let go, because when it's strong, then I feel I am this person. And then to work on it, to let it go, means like Uh, but that sounds like I'm committing suicide. So it's dangerous to let that go. But if I let that go, what remains?
You need trust for that.
You need trust for that. And the trust comes if we really start to sincerely look at ourselves. If we stop lying to ourselves, if we become honest and look what's going on, see what we are doing in the mind, see what kind of contradictions that we are creating all the time, and then have the courage to let them go, and then there come glimpses that show, oh yes, if I let that go, the whole experience can be so different.
My mind becomes more quiet and open when I do meditation, like in the morning. And
Yes.
then after a short period of time, the me comes back and tells me that I have to do all these seemingly important things.
Well, do all these seemingly important things, but then try to remember in the midst of it. Try not to completely forget that even if you forget most of the time, then then once in a while comes that memory, hey, what am I doing again? Where am I again caught up? My attention is so totally involved that I forget that there is something prior to that that is quiet, that is peaceful, that is fulfilled. And then you have those moments in the midst of those important things that that you become aware it's still there. And if you go about it, it's very good to have your morning meditation and have a confirmation again and again and again. It need not be like that. I need not be in tensions all the time. I need not be so totally absorbed and be concerned that I'm doing the right thing, I'm not doing the wrong thing. What are they thinking about? Am I going to be successful and all that stuff? I need not do that. For that, it's very good to have your daily morning meditation, but then just try to remember when busy, when with people, when doing your job, when being uh, a person in the society. Okay, I'm playing this role, but prior to that, during all this time, there is that immovable, that aspect that is not affected by it. And dive into that again and again, every now and then gradually it's being made easier that we don't forget even when we are people with people, even when we are doing our job, even when we are doing all those important things.
Do we waste a lot of energy by that?
Oh, we are wasting enormous amounts of energy by taking ourselves as a person serious and being very concerned and struggle all the time to keep it in place by thinking about it all the time. If we stop doing that, it's like there is so much more creative, beautiful energy at our disposal that can express itself.
Are the most like psychosomatic problems caused by that?
Yes, sure. That with that identification with the person, there is that identification with the body, and of course they interacting. The body is not just matter. It's basically just an energy that is vibrating a bit at a lower rate. And so our mental makeup, how we think all the time, will have invariably its effect on the body, creating diseases, creating mental disturbances, creating so many troubles. If we start to have a good, honest look at ourselves and start to let go of this contradictory way of functioning, then that has invariably also a very good influence on the physical, on the emotional, and the intellectual health.
Would you say that all diseases are created by this kind of identification, or are there some diseases that have nothing to do with it, like I think the last Karmapa died of cancer, and he didn't seem to bother. He didn't suffer from it, but yeah, I mean,
Hmm.
so you understand the question, right?
Right, right. I mean, a being like that may also take on himself all kinds of negative, destructive influences and let it manifest in his body as a disease in order to do some specific thing in the world. It may not be his own karma, but then even then it's possible that somehow there is in the body something there that no matter how it came about, but that needs to manifest and create some physical disorder. Somebody who is detached can accept that and actually is growing enormously in intensity by going through that. Nisargadatta, he had throat cancer, and often he said, when he was there and full of pain, actually it comes to a rare one, what is happening to him. That there was much more than what the eye could see happening at the same time. But let us talk about not Mahatmas. Yes, of course, there are maybe diseases there that are there. But if you are at ease, at peace, automatically your body also is much more in a condition that they can deal with with an attack in such a way that it need not get sick, or even if it's a moment feeling not well, that's very quickly again ejected from the system.
Yeah. Can you say more about, like, when you said like the body is something like, vibrating on a low, some energy vibrating on a lower level?
Right, it's not really matter. There is not really any matter there. It's energy. We just perceive it as matter through our physical senses. They are constructed in such a way that it seems to be matter, solid. But matter is not solid. It's also energy. It's matter. Even even science is agreeing to that. Matter is made out of cells, and the cells are made out of molecules, and the molecules are made out of atoms, and the atom is just the electromagnetic mutual exchange between the nucleus and the electrodes, and it's all space. And the nucleus that has been considered as at least that is matter has now been found. It's also particles that are there and are not there, and it's never solid, solid.
But you can perceive this energy level, vibrating energy, right?
Right.
Some- And if you go deeper into meditation, you can perceive it clearer.
Right. Well, then the body ID may also just disappear. And then there in your meditation, there's simply nobody there.
There's a very old book from I think it's from the 70s, called The Lazy Man's Guide to Enlightenment.
Uh-huh.
And the guy that wrote it talks about like vibrating energy all the time. That he says like we are just vibrations, and
Mm.
the yeah the like bad people try to pull you into their bad, pull you down on their bad vibration level. Yeah,
Mm.
and the more you open up, the vibration level gets like higher, or yeah, in this way.
Right.
Would you go along with me?
All manifestation is vibrating at a certain rate in subtler ways and in grosser ways. But still, what is matter is also vibrating energy that is perceived as matter when it is confronted on its own level. I hit my hand with the fist and it feels like matter. But what is happening is that just the energy is colliding. There is no solid matter there, but the two hands, they are vibrating on the same level, so it feels solid for them.
Okay. Yeah, this is just this is not even a working theory for me, but it's interesting.
But also, from your own experience, when you meditating, sometimes it works better, sometimes less. But when it works nicely, that your whole, also your whole physical sensation changes. Something changes totally there, and suddenly it doesn't feel like a physical body anymore, but rather like a ball of energy.
And my body, I don't know if my body has ever dropped away so far.
Or then you just forget about the body.
Yeah, yeah. It's more that I'm focused on other things, but I don't. It's not really like that. It's really gone. That the physicality.
Right. But after that, you would say the body has never gone. It was always there. And still, it didn't feel like physical reality because you didn't keep your attention on that level that created the physicality of it.
Okay.
So it's not simply working theory. You just have to see what you're really experiencing.
Good. Okay, I try. So the problem is always the preconceived mind.
Right. That's the main that's the main enemy. That that preconceived mind that we have formed, and most of the not most of, but many times it looks so very logical and true, and we don't question it. And then this has become such a force. It has such a habitual momentum that it's not easy to drop it, to not be sucked into it. But most of the problems are simply because of preconceived mental ideas and concepts and like belief systems.
So you have to be very careful, right, to go into meditation with the right intention. Like if you have an intention that is like like you want to be a good meditator and prove that you can do it good, that is more solidifying that illusion.
It won't be totally useless. At least you are learning to concentrate and to be more aware in the present. And invariably, such stuff will always bubble up when one starts out. Then the, those ideas come, the ideas what the other doing, rivalry in between, and all that. But the more you become aware, the more you become also aware that you are doing such things, and there you can work on it. And even if you drop such basically ridiculous kind of mental functions, then it has the tendency to sneak in again in a subtler way. But if you are sincere about really wanting to be free, to become aware what is, then sooner or later you become aware, uh-oh, I'm still doing basically the same thing, only in a more sneaky and subtler way. And we learn to let that go, and it has the tendency to again sneak in again a subtler way.
Yes, I spoiled a lot of good meditations by getting like praising myself how good it is going
Yeah.
and telling yourself like um, yeah, the in Buddhism, I mean, one of the right intention is very important.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not so strict so much in the teaching, but I think to develop the right intention for meditation might be the most important thing. Like if you have like a very pure intention, it goes by itself.
Yes. And we can consciously choose that right intention, but then it will be corrupted again and again out of habit by our mind. And if we are alert, we become aware of that and we can change it gradually. If we are not alert, then it may take a bit longer time until we become aware.
How would you phrase the conscious right intention? For example, just give an example.
Yeah. I mean, the words don't so much matter, and one can put it in different words, but basically it's just that fulfilling that longing that is there in everybody to come home, to become natural, to become aware of what we are. How we are phrasing it then, but it depends our way of talking, our way of expressing things, but the essence of it comes always to the same, that the intention is not to glorify my personality in being more enlightened or more spiritual or more advanced, but just to come home, to be what we are, not to play silly games any longer. Free ourselves from all that imagined bondage.
This, this, like for example, this tendency to glorify oneself in fantasies. It comes from a feeling of low self-esteem in a way. And is it necessary to deal with that to to master up pure intention, or you just need to like deal with it a little bit and then just you can drop it at some point?
Whenever it comes and creates problems, we need to deal with it. Whenever it comes and creates obstacles, we need to deal with it. For those obstacles, that is what sadhana is about. It's not that we have to create our true nature by sadhana. It's not that we have to create enlightenment by sadhana. What sadhana is about is to become more aware and build up the necessary strength and courage to deal with the obstacles that are there and then remove them.
And one of the obstacles might be laziness, that you just yeah, don't practice enough in a way when you could. Like I have enough spare time to practice a lot here in Germany, but most of the times I just meditate in the morning, and sometimes it feels like I waste the rest of the day.
Well, sitting down and crossing the legs and closing your eyes and meditating is not the only way to go about. And if you don't feel like forcing yourself to sit in that way for hours every day, then you have very well the right to do so. It's very good if you do it sitting every day, in spite of where you're living, in spite of your profession. But then the sincerity is that you also learn to be alert when you are not officially practicing. That you also there more and more you become aware, oh, here I'm creating all these tensions unnecessarily. This is again an obstacle I need not create, I can let go. The alertness, that sense of being present becomes more and more established. That is the point, and not that you need to sit. That's certainly a way to go about it, to sit all the time, but it has to come natural. If one forces oneself to do and thinking, if I do so, then I'm achieving some more spirituality, then again we are in that business mode of I'm working and get the reward for it. The sincerity means that we are remembering to watch, to see what's going on. And then when we remember, we immediately start to consciously let go of things that we need not carry along. Not postpone it, not think, that's how it is, that's how I am. But see, these are obstacles from being natural, from being naturally back in our true state.
Sometimes it's very hard to like, for example, every second Thursday I have to do a very little what's the English word? Vortrag, uh, presentation in front of a group of patients,
Yeah,
which are always changing. And I mean, it's always the same presentation, so it's not. I can do it very well, and it's not a problem. But I'm still there's a little tension there.
yeah,
Like, yeah, you get a little bit tense, and I can't let go of that. It's very sub. It comes up very subconsciously.
yeah,
Be totally relaxed. I mean, I see that I need a certain focus. Otherwise, I would like my thoughts would maybe dream off and I would mess it
right.
up. But yeah, there's still this tension there, like that I can feel. Like yeah,
Hmm. Right. Then don't mind so much that tension. Let that tension be on that level. Maybe you need it, as you say, to keep your thoughts together. But at the same time, you can relax in that tension. That you become aware, okay, this is one level in manifestation that has that experience of a certain tension, but there is that other aspect of mind that is not tense because of that, that is completely not affected by it.
okay,
Shall we leave it at that?
yeah, very much.
Hari Om, Hari Om. Is there anybody else who would like to come in? Hello, Vikas.
Hari Om. Werner, my question is very simple. How is the energy? Uh, we were talking about energy in our last conversation, and how is the energy of a house which is there on the ground as compared to a house which is there in an apartment, like 10th floor, 11th floor? Is there any change in energy, or it is dependent on air, sunshine, and water which is there? Or the ground floor houses are good for spirituality or for peace and happiness of body? Is there any changes?
Mm.
You have any views
Sure,
on it?
sure, the location of the where you are living is changing the flavor of the energy that you are living. Uh, but it does not necessarily mean so much whether you are on the ground or a few stories up, because there on the ground there can be an unfavorable energy spot, and that has the tendency that goes up then the whole house. And if it's a favorable spot, then that also has the tendency to go up the house. But then, I mean, some people, before they go into house, they have people come with measuring instruments and looking for whether it's favorable energy or not. You can do that, but if you are already staying somewhere, then you can know, even if there is unfavorable energy, whether you are on the ground or a few stories up, what you are bringing can totally change that spot, that room where you are staying. That even if unfavorable influences are there, if you're doing daily your practice there, if you basically live there, and also when you're not practicing, try to remember to connect with reality. You're creating such a beautiful, helpful force there that it becomes like a little oasis in all the place around you. So don't worry too much about whether it's a favorable or an unfavorable spot. What you're bringing is stronger than that.
Okay. Thank you, Werner. Hari Om.
You're welcome. Hari Om. Hari Om.
Hello, Werner.
Hello, Lila.
Okay. It has been very challenging. I would say let's focus on the last 2 weeks now. So the results for me are that since it's so crazy and difficult to also understand what is actually going on, and the people who run the show are, I'm not sure about them. I will just say that.
Yeah. That's put it mildly.
Yeah. And
yes.
Yeah. Yeah. So the results for me are that I'm actually coping rather well because it's so crazy. Oh, I don't know why, but because it's so, I'm trying to understand what goes on, and I read stuff, and I realize that most people don't know really. There are people who seem to know better, maybe cleverer, more intellectual, whatever. And they're really doing their best to try and to analyze and to tell us what is going on. If it's Facebook or if they watch the news sometimes, and they explain and explain and explain. And the explanations and the words make no sense. Very extreme for me, very extreme. So when words don't make sense, it's also when we talk together with other people, but then it's friends, so my girlfriends, and so somehow we manage to, for me anyway. But really, I feel that words no longer make sense for me.
Hmm.
It would be the smile, it would be the look in the eyes, generosity, which is expressed in very sweet ways.
Hmm.
But the communication in words is difficult
Yes,
or has changed, yeah.
yes. It is also not an easy thing to come to accept that basically our whole life long, most of the time, we have been lied to, we have been fooled, we have been told stories that are not true, and that has made us build up belief systems and build us emotions towards other people, and all was based on lies and self-interest of a certain little group of people. It's not easy to accept because
Yeah,
it's like the whole reality is a bit reality experience. It's a bit founded on that what we have been holding on to, and then to become aware it has been most of it wrong. It's not easy to accept, but it's good to have the courage to do so. Okay, got me big time, but right now at least I'm not more walking into those traps. You may not know what is true, what is not true, what is real, what is not real. But you have something that is not affected by it. You come back to that something, that awareness that you are here now. No matter what is happening, no matter what they are saying, no matter what is true or not true, how much they have been really telling stories and we have been just swallowing it without questioning. Okay, it's the past. We can stop do so, and the whole thing may come crashing down. What we believed, what we felt is true, our whole reality image may come crashing down. But one thing is there that has been there all the time, all the time. You are here now, consciously
yeah,
conscious, consciously alive. You come back, bring the attention back to that. That is your base, and that nobody can shake up. Nobody needs to confirm it because you cannot possibly doubt it. And the more you get rooted in that, and the more you learn to relax in that, the more you become aware. It's not simply that it is that solid base, but it's full of beauty and joyousness of existence, and it can come bubbling up to the surface no matter what in this crazy appearance is happening.
yeah, and sometimes, of course, I don't have to practice for that. That happens by itself. It's the only way. It happens by itself. It's a gift, maybe of all the years of practice, but maybe it's a gift from I don't know, from God or something, because it's so much so impossible. But then, of course, I have falls during the day, and then I become very, very irritated, and I can't breathe here, like here, it gets like squeezed, and yeah, and then I have to be alone and just like somehow let it go. Sometimes I need to take medication. Um, because you've described it so now so sharp that it actually hasn't started 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
So it's quite yeah. I know it hasn't started 2 weeks, and what you said wasn't new for me. I knew it. It's difficult for me to express it to other people, of course. The people are good. I mean, yeah. When we spend time together, when we do sport, Pilates, whatever, people are good, and it's a good feeling.
Yes.
People are kind and somehow together.
Yes. And you can help each other. First, you make yourself solid, calm, connected. And then you don't even have to talk too much about what's going on with the people. You bother often just listen to their ideas, and you somehow rest in your calm in the middle, and somehow they also can tune into that more and more.
Right. But also many people don't feel like really discuss the situation anyway, so
Yeah.
it's okay. Nobody really feels like talking about it.
Yes.
So yeah. So I
And
take every day as it comes, every hour as it comes, really.
yes.
Yeah, what did you want to say? Yeah.
And about becoming aware how much we have been fooled all the time. Then, of course, the tendency is go out and tell everybody. But most of the people are not ready to even consider that, to even listen to that, and then it doesn't help at all. So you can discuss it with people who see it in the same way, but otherwise, you deal with it yourself.
Right.
And accept,
right.
okay, my reality that I held together with my belief system, with my attitudes, with my whole thinking and feeling way is not real as I thought it. And then it is not more there as an anchor you can hold on to, but you don't need to. You have the anchor in that simple fact that you are consciously alive here now.
Right.
And you connect with that strongly. And then the more you do that, the more also when you are with people, you can easily adjust to their situation, what they believe and what they think, and just being with them can be helpful.
Right. Right. Okay.
Okay. I wish you well. Hari Om. Hari Om.
Hari Om.
Is there anybody else who would like to come in? Hello,
Werner.
Delhi.
I wanted you to tell about a little bit about old habits.
Yes.
Yes, I have a lot of old habits. See, like they work with me, and even sometimes I feel that something good happens, and some relaxations come, and some new tools come to me, how to relax, how in my meditation, some phrases that help me to relax, and I feel so great. It's so beautiful. It helps me so much. But time goes, and some days come, and I begin to feel again some anxiety and something like fear. But even if nothing bad happens, now I feel bad or I feel well. Nothing bad happens. I had some difficult, but it turned out well, and it's okay. But my mind sometimes creates something, some fantasies. What if this happen? I understand that it is even not possible. But I understand this is some nonsense and silly to be afraid of that. It's like an old habit to be excited of something. It doesn't matter to which it stuck, to which my mind stuck to. It doesn't matter. Just to find the object, it's not a problem. So yes, I feel from time to time these things, these habits become strong, really strong. Yeah.
But at least you feel it. At least you are aware of it. Because as long as we are not aware of what you're describing, then it's just repeating itself and getting actually stronger. The habit is getting more solid and stronger. But when you become aware of it, the way you describe it now, then it's not pleasant. It's not nice to be aware, this stuff is coming and creating these unnecessary problems. But you're aware, and then actually automatically you start to recoil a bit. You step a step back and you detach. You're not getting involved again and strengthening it, but you see, okay, I think it's silly what's going on in the mind, but still it's going on in the mind. So you don't make it stronger by seeing how it's functioning, then it's already detaching. And there you can consciously uh, intensify that process by accepting, all right, let it go on. But instead of getting caught up in the story that brings the whole thing about, redirect the attention to your immediate experience right now. What is it doing? What are those thoughts doing? What are those fantasies doing to your experience right now? Experience that and learn to relax, and then the old habit gradually is getting weaker. But when you become more aware, sometimes it feels like it's getting worse. I'm getting worse and worse because what is happening, you just become more aware of what was going on also before, all the time, but you were not so much aware of it. And now you become more aware, and then sometimes it feels, oh God, in spite of all my efforts, in spite of all my practice, this still is happening. Never mind, let it happen, but don't be afraid. Try not to get too, too sucked into it as a victim, but let the thoughts come, let the feelings come, let the fantasies come, let all this stuff come, but watch what it is doing to your experience right now and relax. Let go. Don't hold on to it. And gradually, however strong a habit is, however strong a tendency is, if we treat it like this gradually, it loses its power, and finally, it's just a story. It doesn't come anymore. It doesn't have any power anymore.
Yes, thank you, Werner. I understand this is like a dream, like a dream.
Yes?
But I feel that my body, it behaves different. Sometimes I feel that some tension go little by little become less, and that something goes through it. But sometimes I feel that it's very difficult to relax. Like my body, like it is from wood. Yes, some days ago I felt that like it is from wood, and I sit it. I can't. I don't know what to do. How to relax? Just go on breathing, trying to watch and just to accept that today it is like this. So yes,
Right.
sometimes it happens like this.
That's the way to go about it. So even if that happens, that your body feels inattention or feels like wood, that you don't panic about that either. Okay. You also observe that, and then give the impulse to relax, and relax whatever you can relax as good as possible. You may give the impulse to relax, but not much is happening, but still it's a different situation than if you were just completely a victim of what is going on. If you step out and you give that impulse, relax, relax. And even if it's not relaxing much, still it's doing something. So don't worry too much if the relaxation on a physical level is not simply coming, you give the impulse and it's relaxing nicely. You just continue and gradually it becomes easier to relax and eventually it will be just natural. You tell yourself to relax and then in spite of what's going on, it will relax. Just keep practicing in spite of that. Not think, maybe it's not good, maybe I'm making a mistake, maybe I shouldn't do that because it's not doing what I'm saying. So you still just observe and relax. And even if it's not much relaxing, still it's relaxing a little bit. It's in spite of that a different situation. And gradually it becomes easier, even in situation where old tensions very strongly come to the surface, then you just experience the tension. Don't fight with it. Okay, tension is there. Experience it. And relax as good as you can.
Okay, Werner. Thank you. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Hari Om.
I try.
Yes, yes. Sure you will.
Hari Om. Hari Om.
Hari Om. Would anybody else like to come in? Okay. We started out today connecting with love. We become aware when we really have a good look. Love is not an emotion. It's not something that comes and goes. It's not a desire. It's not holding on to things and wanting things and hoping to get happiness and fulfillment. Love is that increasing awareness that all is connected. Essentially, all is one. If we just help by putting the intent in the right direction, by consciously reminding ourselves to open the heart to the possibility that all is connected, that we are not really enemies on this level, that we have just been misled. We are all expressions of that same reality. If we can come back to that, then more and more that real love starts to manifest. That awareness that there is no separation, that awareness that all is a manifestation of the same divinity, then love will not turn into greed, because love cannot turn into greed. Greed is an emotion and love is prior to an emotion. Nothing wrong with the emotion love. We just see it as an emotion. It comes, it goes. It can help you to open the heart, to become more aware of that one love. The more we are opening up to that, the more it is easy to deal with any problem that comes along on this relative level, whether it is physically or whether it is emotionally or whether it is intellectually. If that connection is there to that divinity, if we are aware of that aspect of existence that is simply there, that love for all that is existing, for that whole manifestation. Not an attachment, not a greed, simply the awareness. It's all connected, it's all one, it's all an expression of the same divinity. The more we can live like this, the more we can be aware of that, the more we are opening up to that, the easier it becomes to deal with any problem that comes along on the relative level. Because deep down we know, no matter what, nothing can touch that. And that is the source of joy. That is the source of happiness. That is the source of the sense of fulfillment. It's always present and we can access it. We need not search for it somewhere. We need not get it from somebody. It is here, it is now, and we can access it no matter what we are doing, no matter what we are. I wish you all well. Hari Om. Hari Om. Hari Om.